So thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
So could you kindly introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Gikonyo. I am a kidney patient living with a kidney transplant since the year 2015. I was diagnosed with kidney disease in 2009. That was chronic kidney disease. It was a chance diagnosis. By that I mean I was not sick or unwell. I'd just gone for a routine test at a hospital, just the normal health checkup to know how your state of health is. And that is what I was told, that there was every indication that my kidneys had a problem and that the problem would probably progress to a situation whereby I would require either dialysis or kidney transplant.
Okay. So the doctor tells you you need a transplant. Could you describe that moment?
Okay, not really that I need a transplant, but my kidneys will fail. And I would say that was devastating. I would compare it to being hit by a category 10 hurricane. Big blow. But I was lucky that I had a supportive family, and the doctors were also supportive. So, I was counseled, and it became easy with time to go through the situation. And remember, at this point, I am not sick, I'm not feeling unwell or anything. It's just the knowledge that something dreadful is on the way. And the next thing was to figure out what is it that I can do about it. And that is what I set my mind on from that moment on. To do everything within my means to make this eventuality as easy and as smooth as possible.
So you got a preemptive transplant. Could you explain what that is and what's the difference?
Okay. Yes, I got a preemptive transplant. Now, because I knew, remember I said I was diagnosed in 2009. I came to do the transplant in 2015. So I already knew that I would end up needing a transplant. And because of that, I had all the time to prepare, both mentally, emotionally, financially. And by the time I got to a point where my kidney function was at the lowest, I was able to do a transplant without going through dialysis, which is the most common immediate renal replacement therapy that people go through when their kidneys fail. So a lot of people get kidney failure without knowing, because unfortunately kidney disease can progress up to the point of loss of kidney function before any symptoms have seriously affected the person. So I would say about 80% of people who get kidney failure usually collapse one morning or one day, and when they wake up, they find out that they're in an ICU somewhere or in a hospital, their kidneys failed, and they are undergoing dialysis. So that is one of the biggest dangers with kidney disease. It can progress, and you get to a point of your kidneys packing up before you know that you have a problem. But because I knew in advance, I was able to prepare and therefore get a preemptive transplant. And that means I avoided going through dialysis. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So how did you decide on who you'd ask to be your donor?
When I was told that my kidneys were going to fail, and I said I made it my business now to find out what is it that I could do to make the situation easy to live with. I was told that eventually I would need dialysis or a transplant, and when I was informed and educated about the both options, I decided that a transplant is the best solution for kidney failure, because it gives you better quality of life. It frees you up to live as normal a life as possible, as opposed to a person who is on dialysis. I then was told that the rules in the country require that a transplant can only happen when a donor comes from within the family. And so when I learned this, I went to my family, particularly my siblings. And they were still working with me throughout this journey, so they were part of all this information. And when I told them that we would come to a time when I would need one of them to donate their kidneys, they were all willing to become donors. So I would say I was lucky in that way. I have 6 siblings, and they all volunteered to donate.
Yeah, you're very lucky. Yeah.
Yes, I'm very lucky and very blessed.
So let's talk about myths and misconceptions about organ donation.
Yes.
So what are some myths and misconceptions you've heard about, even if it's kidney disease or kidney donation, that you'd like to talk about, dispel, raise awareness about?
Okay. First of all, we normally say that for you to qualify to be a donor, you need to be 110% healthy. So you will be evaluated, and by the time doctors decide that you are fit to donate, there will be no doubt in their mind that you are fit, you are healthy, and you're good enough. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not in that state of health. Therefore, not everyone can be a donor. And doctors will not pick on you to be a donor, even if you have volunteered, if they feel or they find out that you are not as fit and as healthy as a donor should be. One of the biggest myths I hear about donors is or used to discourage organ donation is that, for example, if you donate, you will not be able to get children. Now, I've been trying to figure out where does that myth come from, because what has a kidney got to do with production? And I've even seen even famous preachers preaching about that. And then it occurred to me that a lot of people don't know the difference between kidneys and ovaries, for example, in the case of ladies. So there is that confusion that they think that kidneys have a role to play in reproduction. These are very different and related organs, and there is nothing about donating that can make anybody, male or female, unable to produce children. And therefore, that is a myth that people should not believe or listen to. Again, there are people who tend to think that you'll be less healthy if you become a donor. And again, like I said, for you to be picked on as qualified to donate an organ, the doctors will make sure that you are healthy. One of the benefits of being a donor is that when you walk this journey with the person you're donating to, you also get now, deeply into the journey of healthy living. And you become more health conscious yourself. Of course, you have been living in a healthy way. That's why you are fit to be a donor. But now you know the risks and dangers of unhealthy living and unhealthy lifestyles. And so you are more keen and more careful about your health than an ordinary person would be. So there is no danger to being a donor, an organ donor. And I would encourage anyone who is able to donate to be free and be able to do that. I've also come across stories where family feuds have grown out of people refusing to donate. So, like, for example, when I asked my siblings to donate and none of them was willing, then that would become ground for enmity, family feuds, animosities within family. And I would say that not everyone can be an organ donor. That grace, that sacrifice, that level of sacrifice and grace is not gifted to a lot of people. And I will encourage those who are looking for donors, if you have people who are not willing or unable, they do not have that blessing, please just understand that's how they are. They don't have the courage. They don't have the fortitude to give a piece of themselves to somebody else. It doesn't mean they are bad. It doesn't mean they are evil. It doesn't mean they hate you. No, it's just that they cannot do it. They are not able to do it. So it should not be a source for animosity and enmity and all the bad blood within siblings and family members. Yeah.
So you're an advocate yourself. So would you like to talk about your advocacy and your organization as we close out?
Okay, before I go to advocacy, staying with the donation, we have a 2017 Health Act that now allows organ harvesting in the country. And currently the country is working on operationalization of that act so that we are able to take organs from deceased persons and use these organs for donations. And I would encourage all of us to volunteer to donate our organs when we pass on so that we are able to save more lives. And this can only work if people are willing to volunteer to donate their organs once they don't need them anymore. And that means when you die, if and when you die, you should be willing to donate. I'm encouraging families of people who donate to kindly support that decision and enable that decision when the family member passes on so that we can save more people. One life can save about 8 lives, depending on the organs that can be harvested in one's body. And it would be a great thing if we can all support this initiative so that we save as many lives as possible. Coming to advocacy, yes, I've been an advocate for kidney disease since 2018. And I would say I embarked on this journey when I realized, one, there was very little information out there about kidney disease. And the only information available was probably what I was getting from my doctors. And the challenge with relying on doctors for information is that you spend very limited time with them and you pay for that time. So you are not able to exhaustively get a lot of information when you need it. It is not very possible, for example, to call your doctor at midnight and tell them you are sweating and you're shivering and what is happening. But it is possible to do that if we harness the power of lived experience. And this can only come from people who have lived with the condition themselves. And therefore, I teamed up with a group of other kidney patients, and we formed the Renal Patient Society of Kenya. And this organization brings together people living with kidney disease. That is people who have chronic kidney disease, people on transplant, people on dialysis, and also caregivers, particularly of minors who are living with this condition. And we came together so that we can create a platform where we can share lived experiences, where we can have peer support, and where we can have conversations around kidney disease, encourage one another, and help one another when the need arises. So it has been, I would say, a challenging but fulfilling journey. And besides now the peer support and the fellowship, we have also now embarked on petitioning the authorities and the relevant stakeholders who make decisions that affect us to make decisions that are friendly to kidney patients, but more importantly, to make sure that when these decisions are being made, we are involved, we are on the table, and our contribution is heard, valued, and respected. So it's a journey that is continuing. We have made some good progress. We have now become established in the country as the voice of kidney patients. We have had some good rapport with the Ministry of Health, particularly the NCD division. We have teamed up with other non-communicable diseases organization like the NCD Alliance of Kenya. We have teamed up with other patient-led organizations in bringing out the voice of people living with NCDs, people living with chronic conditions, and making sure that whatever we are going through is appreciated and responded to in a manner that is beneficial to us and to the stakeholders involved in these decisions.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.